Welcome to the show. Today's episode is proudly sponsored by Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow. More on them in a bit. Oh, wow. That was fun. Almost started again. Whoops, oh well. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to LRMornings today with Kyle and
Manny.
It's been a while since I did the old-fashioned intro, but welcome everybody. Let me turn off this background since we got some funny pictures in the back. That's just a placeholder. Manny, you just told me something interesting. I'm not sure how much you can say, but before we get into the main topic, you saw something Star Wars related.
That's right, because I'm going to be part of a press event today for Star Wars: The Bad Batch. So I got the privilege of taking a look at the first two episodes.
Interesting. I know you can't say too much. People will definitely have to keep their eye on the website as the official press stuff is allowed to be released. But can you at least say whether or not this is something fans should check out?
Well, it's Star Wars, so absolutely check it out. I'm not going to tell you why. I can't, actually.
Good.
I respect Disney because they've been so good to me as far as content the last few months. So, and then it's very unfortunate that some people decide that we've talked about it a billion times that they want to be first with things. So it wasn't. Luckily, when I saw the story, I was like, oh no, somebody saw the episodes, and began dropping spoilers. But it turns out it was through packaging that somebody shared an image yesterday. We're not gonna go farther into that, but screw you, man. Like,
I'm guessing you're talking about that one thing with the
the
sign.
thing.
Yeah. People are. I talked a bit about it yesterday without giving it away as well, because that's just messed up. My wife actually accidentally spoiled part of Mortal Kombat, being all excited to be riding on the show, and then she's like, "Oh, what about this story?" And I'm like, "I didn't know that. Like, thanks. I appreciate it."
Well, today I could finally talk Mortal Kombat.
Yes. Why don't we talk a little bit about Disney's and Sony's deal, and then we'll get your reaction on Mortal Kombat since it comes out tomorrow, and you can finally talk about it. And you've talked to some of the filmmakers and stuff, which is awesome. We got those up on the YouTube channel, which you guys are watching on here. Sony and Disney. God, we are always talking about these two studios because of Spider-Man, and then Sony doing other things with other properties that they really shouldn't have anymore. But yesterday it was officially revealed that Sony basically made a deal like you used to make with TV stations for showing things in like what would the word, not syndication, but the rights to broadcast a movie on TBS versus ABC. It's one of those deals. Basically, Netflix gets the immediate after theater, and then roughly 9 months later-ish, we can expect to see the 2022 through 2026 theatrical slate from Sony hitting across the Disney streaming spectrum from Hulu and Star Plus overseas to Disney Plus here in the U.S. Manny, what do you make of this deal?
It just tells me that they have a healthy relationship and don't expect Spider-Man to be joining the MCU for a very long time.
Yo, you mean like all by himself, like
Disney having control of him?
Oh yeah, yeah. But do you think that this is a sign that what Tom Holland had said a couple months ago by now, I think, where he said, as far as he knows, he's been involved in a few calls about them continuing to work together on Spider-Man, not control or sell or anything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that this is a sign that that deal is probably close to being announced as well?
Yeah, I have no doubt. They're gonna have to. Disney's gonna pull out the checkbook and give and take on both sides, because Disney also wants to have Spider-Man content on Disney Plus. It only makes sense because that's a major gap in your library if you don't have it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's expected, and both sides being the business people that they are, it benefits both sides. So why not?
Yeah, that's what you would think. Why not? But lots of people come up with reasons for why not.
Yeah.
It's kind of odd to me seeing this deal announced so close to the Netflix deal. Some people might not quite get why, but like as soon as this was announced yesterday, I saw sites misrepresenting what it is, what the deal actually means. I saw people, immediately spreading rumors and misrepresenting what it is, and some of that's because of the way people do the thumbnails and the titles and things, but there were a lot of discussions about what this means for Spider-Man and the other characters. Whoop, I got a jaw off. I forgot to punch in the mouth. Hold on. People are really wondering not as much of what it means for Spider-Man, because we've already seen Sony and Disney work together with Spidey. But what does it mean for Morbius, and what does it mean for Venom? And like, when I'm basically going to say when now. When these, and it's just my theory, there's nothing official like we're saying, but when these two universes meet, man, what influence do you think Marvel will get over the other Spider-Man properties Sony has in the works that aren't already, in the can, like Venom 2 and Morbius?
I don't think they're going to be getting that much. They haven't up to this point, and it's a real shame. I think that they could have made Venom quite a bit better. Mm-hmm. And I haven't seen Morbius yet to really react to it, to really give an opinion on how good or how bad it is. I know that I trust Leto and his work that he does. So I think it'd be unfair for me to give my opinion on that. But based on what we've seen off of Venom, and then what we've seen from Spider-Man films like The Amazing Spider-Man 2, things like that, Sony shouldn't be left alone with with Marvel properties. I just like, I know I come off as a hater, but it's true, because then you go over to Disney and then they're doing such fantastic work with characters that you never thought that would work. I look at the popularity now of the Guardians of the Galaxy, who you probably didn't hear of before, and now you're bringing other characters to light, like Shang-Chi. You have the Eternals. A lot of people probably didn't even have an idea who the Eternals are. So so you're learning so much more about the grandeur of the Marvel universe. Meanwhile, over at Sony, they can't even get Venom's backstory right. A very simple, very important story in the Spider-Man universe, Spider-Man world. You can't even get that right. So I mean, how you have one of the probably the second. So you won't argue first, but usually it's the second most popular superhero in the world, with the first or second best rogues gallery as far as the superhero has, and you can't get it right. And the only time it really seems to be uh, very done well is when uh, Disney's involved, Marvel Studios. So, and that's not just based on opinion; it's a fact. You can see it. There's the films right there. Go take a look, and this is what it is. So I would hope that they have more influence in the future, but I'm not holding my breath.
I agree. I always point out to um, the Sony exec that said, back in 2019, we've seen Feige's playbook. We can do it. We can make these movies too. Bloodshot comes out. Really? You can? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can look at you can look at Belichick's playbook, but if you don't have the mind of a Super Bowl champion, you're still not going to pull the right plays at the right time.
That's true.
It's Bruce Bochy did it for years over with the Giants. It's like, why the hell are you putting that guy in? Comes in, Michael Morris hits that home run, to put it I don't know. I'm a big Giants fan, and some of Bochy's decisions made me cringe, but they all used to pay off, and for that we got 3 rings out of it. If you're a Dodger fan, you can suck it. By the way, I just want to say that live. There's not a team in this world I hate more than the Los Angeles Dodgers. So
the Yankees, fuck them.
They're the worst in the league right now. So we just point and laugh. So we're good.
Yeah, that's kind of like the Red Wings for the last 5 or 6 years. They've just not been the Red Wings people remember. So
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying is you can take the playbook, but if you're not going to call the right plays at the right time, who cares?
Yeah,
so
I like that.
So sorry, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of like reading Sun Tzu and thinking you can go, lead an army because you read one book. This is like we said, most likely a sign of a healthier relationship between the two. Them maybe in 2019. I don't know too much about different creatively leadership at Sony. But I do know, Disney's had Chapek replace Iger and the Bobs, if you will. Even though Iger's not really gone. It's God. Imagine that. He's basically like president number two, and still getting paid a ridiculous amount of money. It's crazy. But I wonder if this is a Bob Iger Chapek thing, or if this is a Kevin Feige thing. This breath of new life into the relationship, because like we pointed out, 2019, Sony, by all appearances, now it could have been a really good power move, which if it was, it worked. But I think it had more to do with the fans, because I honestly believe Sony intended in 2019, we're taking our ball and going home, and they didn't expect the backlash. They didn't expect a fucking memorial to be set up at D23. They didn't expect the reaction that Tom Holland would get for Onward at D23 versus the response was for Spider-Man news, not onward. Sony had no choice but to look at all of that and be like, now's probably not the time. And so I wonder if who has made the relationship better. You know what I'm saying?
It's the Disney overlords. Like, we can give Feige all the credit we want about Marvel Studios, and he deserves it, but he's still underling. Mm-hmm. Disney's board, Disney's, the Bobs, as you call them. They're the ones in charge, because I'm sure if Feige ever decided to go rogue for whatever reason, to go Snyder, that's all, we'll say it that way. I'm sure Disney would pull the plug real quick, because nobody messes with them. Nobody's bigger than the brand,
Yeah.
That's kind of scary. It's kind of scary to think about, but that's just what it is. They're just coming up, and as soon as they can swallow up a franchise, they do it. That's why they own so much. Star Wars, the Muppets, they own they own Marvel, they own, just a plethora of things the Simpsons now. Who ever thought that Disney would be owning the Simpsons? So
and Bob's Burgers for that.
Bob's Burgers, yeah.
Love that
so Hulu, well, they own part of it from the beginning, but ESPN, like, you start naming all the things they own, and you're like, wait, what the hell's left out there? So it's to their I think Sony tried to set all this stuff up, and they got no reaction really, or faith in the products that were announced being developed or currently in production. So I think they just had to deal with it, but it's their own fault. They're not putting out good product. So
no, they're not. Look, people can hate on me at that Kyle Malone on Twitter. It's right there on the screen. And Instagram, I'm trying to get into the Instagram. I'm the worst at pictures. Like,
oh God, you're so old. You said I'm trying to get into the Instagram. Oh boy.
We have so many great memories and trips, and like my wife collects magnets, right? So we've got magnets from all over the world, all over the US, and but we don't take a lot of pictures of ourselves when we're there, right?
Yeah.
So like I'm terrible with it, but I'm trying. So send your hate there, so force me to use it more. When it comes to Venom, look at the title. Let there be carnage. Like, really? What? Like, thank you for not being Venom 2, because I'm of the idea that it's past 1995, and we should be beyond numerical sequels in adult or general audience movies. Maybe you get away with like Soul 2 or Onward 2, but no, everything now needs subtitles. We don't no more numerical. I hate seeing Iron Man 3 on my Blu-ray collection for the MCU, but
just makes it easy.
You look at that. You look at the wig they put Harrelson in for the first movie for Cassidy, Carnage. For those of you that don't, do you do that? Do you usually call villains and comic book heroes by their name versus their made up name? Spider-Man says in them.
No, I use whatever name that they have at that moment. So yeah, Cassidy Clay.
So you look at that and you're like, what the hell got like red hair, like red dye. You could go buy bleach and dye, and it's really, what the fuck is that wig?
Woody Harrelson's usually bald though, so I can see that.
Right, but that wig itself was horrible looking.
That line was worse than the wig.
That too.
I was like, don't say it, don't do it. I know exactly what you're gonna say.
Oh God. Oh man. And then Ghostbusters 2016, people can bring up complaints about. You and I have obviously brought up, things we've got concerns about when it comes to Ghostbusters Afterlife. Um, and then of course there's I brought up Bloodshot.
Yeah.
The Valiant universe doesn't even get off the ground, and Sony's already fucked it up. So yeah, man, I agree with you. It's like you guys need someone almost as bad as Warner Brothers needs someone, right?
Right now, I feel like Warner Brothers is probably lacking that head. I think that they reacted too soon to Snyder as far as letting him go. I think he should have been left to complete his vision, because it was a good one. It was going to be very impactful and different than what Marvel was doing. And that's the thing. It's funny because there's all these people still who are all on that restore the Snyderverse. But my one question to everyone is, where were you guys after Batman v Superman?
Yeah,
Because,
yeah.
Because you didn't. That movie was Jammer and I agree on this. That movie was good. I like that movie. It was edited. It was edited a little strangely. But there are just some things that you should have decided to leave in rather than leave out. But once you got the director's cut, you saw that it was really, really good. But I think that also has to do with a studio influence, obviously. But it was going to finish with Justice League 3, and then it was going to be rebooted with Flashpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would have been just a great work of art as far as the comic book movies, because stories like that are usually not told using mainstream superheroes. But of course, Warner Brothers, I think, overreacted and decided to mess up or put themselves back 5 years or so, because since they haven't recovered since then, and now they have a mess as far as continuity and Batman
canceled projects.
Canceled projects, and I don't know what the hell Wonder Woman 1984 was, because Wonder Woman was so good. Then you had the cast. You have the cast of a good cast. Pedro Pascal. You have Kristen Wiig. Obviously, you have Chris Pine returning for a little bit, and you have, of course, Gal Gadot. You still managed to make like a bad movie with bad effects.
And a year of post work,
right? That you could have. Mm-hmm.
You got no excuse.
No, like nobody noticed that doll like rolling around with in her arms. That was so. That was glaringly bad. And then you talked about some of the audio in the end, and then it's a shame, right? And meanwhile, over at Marvel Studios, we're enjoying a very timely series in Falcon and the Winter Soldier that cannot be more relevant to the social feelings today.
Marvel.
And what do we have? We have Sam Wilson, really, really distraught about what the shield means, who he is, and if he's even worthy of holding it, and wanting to, even if he wants to represent this country that doesn't represent him all the time or back him up. It's very timely to what's going on, and people can relate to it. So, I mean, just really, really good stuff.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we've brought up before in conversations about DC. The difference in why and when the two companies created their biggest heroes, their biggest teams, and things like that. And I'm always one to discuss escapism,
right?
And the need for it. And DC is supposed to be escapism. You're not supposed to deal with this world in DC in general. you can. There's alternate stories and things like that. Great. But in general, it was designed as escapism. Go live this grand adventure with these demigods that are all good. You know, there's no demon in a bottle for original Batman, man. But Marvel, from the get-go, it was, let's show dysfunctional family, because that's real. Families fight. Husbands and wives don't always get along. Deadbeat brother-in-law sleeping on the couch, you know, boom, Fantastic Four. We've got race issues in the 60s, mutants, Black Panther, you know, class issues and money issues in youth, boom, Spider-Man, you know, fuck, dude. When was the first Pym smacking Janet? That was like 80s, right? 70s, 80s? It was.
I'm probably wrong. I think it's the 70s.
Okay, yeah. I mean, imagine that. You have an actual superhero commit spousal abuse, you know, and then look at Ultimates when they redid it, and he, you know, she's a mutant, he fucking bug sprays her. You know?
Yeah, and then you have one of the greatest Avengers of our time, you know, quote unquote, because of the MCU. Go back and look at Tony Stark. He's a drunk.
Yep.
He's an alcoholic. And, you know, he has to deal with that constantly.
Yes, absolutely. And like you said, we get to go to Marvel to get our dose of realism, but in a more fun way to process it. You know, a more engaging way to deal with some of the more traumatic experiences in an individual's life, seeing it on the page, or in case of Falcon Winter Soldier, you know, screen play out like that. It's great, but we still need a place for escapism, and that's what's great about other series. So long as like creators remember that because you do have I think some creators out there, and I can point to Star Wars easily, several people that seem to forget that the property that they're working on isn't necessarily meant for the messaging that they want to tell. You know, it's kind of like the Ed Brubaker conversation we had. It's like, yeah, you want to do this in this company or with this story in this world, but you shouldn't, because it's not meant for that. You know, fan fiction exists for a reason. If you really want to do it, but go create something new. Go find one of those properties that is meant for, you know, contemporary commentary, and go about it that way. But I think escapism is important.
Yeah. Not every movie has to have a message, you know.
Yeah, and before we get into a movie that I'm sure offers great escapism, let's go ahead and hear from our sponsors over at Grow Generation.
Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow. Grow Generation is your one-stop shop for hydroponic grow supplies, product systems, and more. Grow Generation serves customers across the nation and carries a wide inventory of renowned cultivation brands. Go to www.growgeneration.com, where the pros go to grow.
Thank you, Grow Generation, for sponsoring the show, and thank you for reading that script, Christine. Manny, anything else about Sony and Disney? Do you think Netflix is upset? We didn't talk about them at all. Do you think they knew about this? Do you think they're upset? Do you think they?
No, I don't think they're upset at all. No, see, the thing that I don't know if people understand this very much is that those deals get made all the time. Mm-hmm. I mean, hell, Universal has deals with HBO Max, with obviously their own thing, Peacock, and and other streaming services, which is why Harry Potter keeps getting bounced around
all over. And Back to the Future is about to hit Netflix for a short period of time.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just you could only put your content in one place for so long before you need to kind of shuffle it around, make some money off of it, and bring it back later. These aren't lifetime deals. They're deals sometimes for maybe even not even a year. So that's why things just that's why you still see Disney content on like Netflix, or that's why you see a lot of Warner Brothers content still on Netflix, because they understand that you're not going to go to their streaming service and watch everything, so you might as well lease some things out and make some money.
I can see that. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Mortal Kombat. Manny has seen it. Manny's wearing a nice hat. We've seen the opening scene, between the soon to be at that point Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Without spoilers, tell us a little bit about what you think about the movie, man.
The movie is 100% entertaining. I think what Simon McCoy did and the rest of the production team in putting that together, they did a great job, because video game movies are hard. And one of the main reasons, one of the things I talked with Simon about is the reason is because in a video game, you're used to being engaged and in controlling the characters. So part of it is the character's doing what you want it to do. And I think that's something you forget when you're watching a movie, is that now you're sitting back and you're watching and you're reacting to a character, and maybe it's not the way you want the character to move, because some people button smash, but that's what they like to do when they play Mortal Kombat or games like that. The other difficult thing about this movie is the fact that you have such a library of characters to deal with. If you can't just focus your story. If you wanted to, you could focus this entire movie on either Scorpion or Sub-Zero, and everyone else is doing cameos. But that's not going to appease the fans. That's just going to annoy people. Yeah. And the problem is also fans in general, audiences, we're all guilty of this. Is we're all very we're all very demanding of what we want, especially like we're gonna want character
MTV.
We want all the character development in 2 hours, but that's impossible, right? Because there's so much to do and so many stories to tell. And the thing is, you have to establish, and right now their challenge was to establish a franchise, to establish a universe of Mortal Kombat, of all these characters. So it doesn't have everyone that you may want in the film, but there's a reason for it. Yeah. And I think that taking the approach of having their title character be somebody new, in this case, Louis Tan's Cole Young, I think it was a great idea, because he gets introduced to the world of Mortal Kombat along with us, and with that comes the development of other characters. We get to see a lot of Sonya Blade, who's played by Jessica McNamee. And then I think one of the characters that everyone's going to find that's going to steal the show a little bit is Josh Lawson's Kano. Great. I didn't expect him to have that much. That'd be such a fun character. Mehcad Brooks plays Jax, which is such a strange thing to see, because he's number one, he has a mustache, and he's Jimmy Olsen in Supergirl. So to see him all of a sudden with the metal arms and stuff, just so weird. And then you have your two characters, of course, that without a doubt, you know who they are, regardless of who, if you play Mortal Kombat or not, is Sub-Zero and Scorpion, which you can really anchor everything on. And that's the first 7 minutes of the movie. Yeah. I thought that the first 7 minutes of a movie are a great representation of what the franchise is going to be and what it can be as far as martial arts and just quality of sets and
they did a lot on location, right?
They did a lot of the filming was on location, which some of the producers found annoying, but they wanted because they were fighting in the desert. They're fighting in mines. And it was hot, and it was it was hard for them. But you have great talent also. Some people who aren't as well known, and great. I think my favorite thing is, and I'm trying to see if I can work this out where I can go see it this weekend on Atmos. It just sounds cool, man. The techno remixes of some of the classic Mortal Kombat sounds that we're used to. They're just dope. And it just gets you fired up, makes you want to go home and play Mortal Kombat a little bit.
So are you saying that unlike the original movie that I can remember, they took some of the level music from the games this time around?
I'm not sure if necessarily some of the level. It's just reminiscent of it, and then the main theme one is pretty damn cool. But they didn't try too hard in this movie to try to cram you everything in one movie, which is something I really appreciated. So you get a lot of character build, you get a lot of cool moments, and
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, how is the choreography and how are the because I know they try to go with actors that could do more physical things themselves. So how does it turn out?
It turns out really well. You have very veteran and that's why I thought it was so smart the way they started the movie. Joe Taslim, he plays Sub-Zero. He's a former martial artist. He's a former champion. And then I don't think I need to speak about on how amazing Hiroyuki Sanada is. So having them work together is almost like a ballet. It's done so well. And then when you see it done with some more mainstream actors, it's not as clean because you can really tell the level of somebody's martial arts knowledge by the cuts,
right?
Because if the level is a little bit higher, you have a more continuous shot that doesn't cut. But if in fact a stunt double needs to be replaced or something like that, you'll get a lot of moments where it's cut to a different angle and
far away, don't close up. So we get a lot of good close up. The first 7 minutes continues to be representative of the fights that we see
for certain actors. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you have an idea of who can really fight versus who, and then they what I also appreciated is they tried to be as practical as possible without necessarily being too CGI, too kind of oversaturated CGI. Although like there's some characters that you're not going to be able to do anything practical with, but because there's nobody with that many arms. So and then just you get your fill of fatalities.
Yes, which is great. I love that. I was happy to see because that very first trailer we saw, and to James, who just popped into the live chat to say Venom is greater than Spider-Man: Homecoming and Far From Home. Liar. But thanks for watching, James.
That's a brave comment.
Yeah, that is. Like, do you understand who you're talking to? No, James is a good guy that I interact with quite often on Twitter. So appreciate you watching, James. But yeah, Venom's garbage, dude. Mortal Kombat. I like I said, I'm totally stoked to go see it with my wife tomorrow. So Monday, guys, make sure you come back. Manny said he's going to try to see it in an Atmos theater so you can get the he's spitting straight facts. I'm sorry. No. But that's what we're gonna have to do. Is throw down Thursday next week is fight this out now. Monday though, definitely come back. We're gonna have a segment of the show where we will give you a spoiler warning for Mortal Kombat, but we do want to discuss it because it's one of those things. When the first trailer hit, I was really disappointed. I was like, I'm not sure. I'm not getting good vibes. And then the additional footage came out. Not even the fight, just the additional trailer footage. And I was like, okay, I think they might have something. And then as you've been hyping it up, in private, you guys gotta, we've got rules we gotta follow and stuff. But as it's been hyped up, I've been getting more excited, and because the first movie wasn't the greatest. Like, yeah, it doesn't. It's a terrible Mortal Kombat, but it was a fun action movie. I got decent memories of that first movie. The second one, not so much. And while I like Christopher Lambert, there can be only one. I don't know, Connor Duncan McLeod. I like the Highlander movies better than the show. Anyways, Lambert is not Raiden, but I'm excited for it if they can do it right. Because I like the idea of video games making that transition, but like you and I have said, it's difficult.
Yeah.
They just showed the stand-ins. I can't bring it up because it's not official, but they showed the stand-ins for Tails and Knuckles in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Numerical subtitle, but that was the name of the video game, and it's children, so I can cope with that. But they showed that. People got pretty excited about that, and Sonic is an example of a video game movie done not just right, but better than it should have ever been. There's no excuse for Sonic the Hedgehog movie to be good,
right?
But it was. And I have hope for like series. Where we're allegedly supposed to get a Final Fantasy series one day, and this is a good opportunity, and I'm excited to go back to the theaters tomorrow to see it. So
yeah, Mortal Kombat took 7 years to put together.
Jeez.
So they wanted to make sure they get it. They got it somewhat right. So when Simon and James Wan went to Warner Brothers with it, they had a list of demands. And if you want to see those, I have a piece up on LRM Online about that. It's actually a couple weeks ago. So it's just it's nice that they took their time with it, and they're fans of the property, and it's time that they got a good movie, and hopefully this leads to better, like you're saying, better storytelling with films about video game properties. But I want to hold my breath on a good Final Fantasy movie. It's just the world's too big.
Yeah,
it's just it like
series is possible.
Fans would never be happy. That's just they're going to be nitpicking. That's the other thing too. Some people will nitpick at everything, not realizing that a video game is very different from a feature film. I'm not sure if they recognize that, but
it almost comes to a point where with certain games, you almost want to just use the world and not necessarily the characters that we're familiar with. In which case, that's what if I were over at Sony or Square Enix, I would be saying, guys, let's pick, say, Ivalice, the world from Final Fantasy 12, Final Fantasy Tactics, and I think Vagrant Story, whatever. Anyways, let's take that world. Let's pick a time, kind of like they're doing with the Amazon Lord of the Rings show. Let's pick a world. Let's pick a time. Boom, go. I think that almost has to be what you do with a lot of video games, not all, but a lot of them. Series, world, location, carry on. Because,
Yeah.
like you said, you're so used to a certain character, and you project yourself into that character. So if it's on screen not the way that you want, you're not gonna like it, like you said.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm excited to hear that it's good. I expect Sony and Disney to have some more announcements in the relative near future. We don't know for certain, but like you said, this is a sign of a healthier relationship between Sony and Disney than 2019. And also, like you said, regardless of who went over and massaged whose feet, the Bobs, they get the credit, and Sony execs will have to get credit as well, because they said yes. At the end of the day, they if a deal for Spider-Man like we think is going to come about, their heads sign the dotted line. So yes, depending on the end results of that, I might actually have to say they I can't even do it. But anyway, look, guys, for a lot more stuff coming out from Sony. They have they backtracked on closing the PS3 and PlayStation Vita stores. They have accidentally released what looks to be an add-on for PlayStation Now called PlayStation Now Video. There was a leaked website data for Sony out of I want to say the Netherlands, but I might be wrong on the exact location. That looks to be basically like VOD, but if you're a PlayStation Now member, you might get the movie for free. They've got a lot of things in the pipe over at Sony across the board, from the game side to the movies and television. Keep your guys' eyes out on them. And Manny, thanks, man, for doing the live show today. And I'm super excited to see the movie tomorrow in theaters safely, and following all local and state and federal guidelines and rules and regulations and all that. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. Be sure to check out our sponsor, growgeneration.com. Thank you guys for sponsoring the show. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that red button right there and that bell next to it, so you'll be alerted whenever we upload brand new shows like LRMornings, Anime Versal Reviews. Dr. Stone review for episode 6 will be up on Saturday. Marvel Multiverse Mondays, we're doing Falcon and Winter Soldier. We got a lot of content. Plus, Manny, tell us about the interview side and some of the things that are coming up on the site.
Well, up now on our YouTube, on our site a little later today, I have Joe Taslim, who is Sub-Zero in Mortal Kombat, Simon McCoy, director for Mortal Kombat. We also have some great stuff from Saban Films' Wildcat, which hits tomorrow, which is a really cool thriller film that all takes place in one room. And then, just a ton of different things. And then also, just to let you guys know, we've been working with Disney a lot lately, and we're going to have a couple of Cruella giveaways in the upcoming weeks and you can get those only by tuning into LRM Mornings.
Yes, be right here. LRMornings, we're going to be doing more and more live shows in the future, but right now the Thursday live shows is the place for giveaways. And Cruella, man, I'm telling you guys, don't count that movie out. That looks good. Like,
that movie's gonna be fire, man.
I am an Emma Stone fan,
yeah.
And like, I straight up fucking love Easy A. That is a good funny movie.
That's a great film. Yeah.
Stanley Tucci in it, and her, and like her mom and dad and hers relate. I love the movie, and Emma Stone's just great in it. I have no interest in Disney musicals. Like I don't like 101 Dalmatians, but
It's not really a musical.
Fucking
I like
awesome.
one song in
right.
it.
Right. It doesn't matter. I don't fucking like. I don't, dude. Like Aristocrat, no, don't care for that. Like the funniest things from Disney I liked were like Atlantis, because that wasn't a musical at all, and it had Michael J. Fox. And then I like Aladdin and Lion King enough. But anyways.
But you like Aladdin. Okay.
I said enough. Enough. Like it's Robin Williams. Like I skip through songs. It's like watching The Last Jedi. I skip Canto Bight. Like every time they're nope, skip, nope. That's how we win, by loving. Nope, you win by killing bad guys. Skip. Anyways, guys, all of our social media information's down below. Follow us. Follow the website at LRM_exclusive on Twitter. Hit all the likes and subscribes, all the good stuff on the podcast channels, your favorite apps, Spotify, Apple, Google, all that good stuff, guys. Thank you so much for listening, and I got to bring up my videos, so I'm going to do this, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.